My friends, recently I lost one of my dearest friends, Mr. Sam Rose, who was my neighbor and a very dear friend, and some of you might recall because I've posted pictures of Sam and I over the years. And I did a documentary about him called The Knights of Normandy, which was a tribute to him as one of the great war heroes Canada has ever seen. And I encourage you, I'm going to post that documentary beneath this one, and I encourage you to watch it, because by watching it you will learn the true definition of a hero, and the strength and the courage and the valor and the selflessness of a hero. So I encourage you to watch that, and that is my my tribute to my friend Sam at this time. You know, in life we're called upon to speak. When somebody passes away, we're called upon to speak about them, and we do our best to try to articulate who they were, what made them so great, what made them so unique, and what made them so beloved. But it's absolutely absurd and preposterous to think that we can do this. It's a mission impossible. Every human being is a universe on to himself, onto herself, and to think that we can describe the true beauty of a human neshama in human words is absolutely ridiculous. And to think that I could sit here and describe the true beauty of my friend Sam Rose, it's absurd. It's absurd. Nevertheless, I wanted to say a few words about my friend, and as I'm sitting here, I can recall very vividly, the moment I met Sam. I was walking. Sam lived around the corner from me. I was walking by his driveway. He was in the tip of the driveway, and he was famous for his garage sale, which everyone in the neighborhood knew about, and the kids would come from across the school, and strangers would come in, and it was his hobby, the garage sale. He lived for the garage sale, but what he loved the most was meeting people. He loved people with all of his heart. Always a twinkle in his eye, even for a complete stranger. And I was walking by, and he said, "You want to buy a bike?" He was trying to sell me a bike. And then he said, "Come here, feel my muscle." That's another thing that Sam was famous for. Very proud of his bicep, and he had every reason to be, because it was stronger. It was stronger than the average 30-year-old. He was always a man of great strength. Certainly physically, as a wrestler when he was younger, as a soldier, and throughout his adult years. But his true strength was on the inside. He had an amazing inner strength, an incredible constitution, his will to keep going against all of the odds, against all of life's setbacks, was absolutely incredible. And I drew no small amount of inspiration in this example that he set for me. And I would visit him as much as I could, and whether sometimes we would sit on the porch, sometimes I would sit in the living room with him, and people said to me, what a commendable thing it is to visit. In Judaism we hold visitation of the elderly in extremely high regard. It's a very high mitzvah, but the truth is that it was very selfish on my part. It was something I did very selfishly, because Sam gave me back more than I could ever give him, and so many great memories, davening together on Yom Kippur, sitting beside him watching wrestling, just sitting in the kitchen watching him do his needlepoint and his crossword puzzles and listening to his wisdom. And it really didn't matter what we were doing, but sitting, always, I was always cognizant that I was in the presence of a beautiful neshama from the very beginning when I met him, and I was always cognizant and very appreciative of this, because he was a beautiful soul, and I just wanted to say a few words about him, and I wanted to play this documentary that I did, which is a tribute to him. And it's called Knights of Normandy, and I wanted to also say prayers and best prayers and condolences to Trudy and Sheldon and the entire family. And I wanted to thank Sam for always, treating me like part of the family. It was he was a wonderful blessing to me, and thank you very much, Sam.